Yeah, I'm a believer myself, man. I grew up in the church. I'm a believer, and it's one of those things where, like, as a business owner, if you don't want to quit several times in a week, then you don't have enough. Your business is not scaling the way that needs to be scaling, right? Dude, trust me. There's weeks that I'm like, you know what, screw this. Like, I'm gonna fire everybody. I'm gonna start all over. I had one of those weeks a couple of weeks ago. But, it's one of those things where, like, mindset comes into play. And whatever you gotta do, like, you gotta have the right mindset, because whatever you're thinking about is what you're gonna get.
Yep.
I was talking to one of my buddies before my kids were born. It was like, what are you praying for? What are you asking for? I'm like, patience. He was like, oh, buddy, you don't want to pray for that. I'm like, well, why not? Because he was like, because he's going to give you problems to teach you patience.
This episode is brought to you by 10x Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10x Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm on with Mike Martinez with Accountable Home Services. Mike and I just found out that he is an avid golfer. He has an awesome company in Denver doing restoration. And Mike, it's good to have buddies in Colorado, man. Tell us about Accountable and how you got started.
Yeah. So, Andrew, thank you very much for having me as a guest. It's always a pleasure to meet people in town. And just doing this, it's always fun. It's one of those things where you get to meet new people, especially if they're in town. It's always fun. But yeah, Accountable Home Services. We are a property cleanup and restoration company. We specialize in water, fire, mold, damage cleanup. And the company actually started not too long ago. It started in 2024, but I was doing this since 2020. I actually got into the industry through a franchise and through one of my buddies. And that's how I got into the industry. And yeah, I started that in 2020, and in 2024, end of 2024, beginning of 2025, I was just, I just wanted to go out on my own, and I slowly made the transition over to Accountable Home Services, and that's what we do now. That's who we are now. And not only do we do the water, fire, mold cleanup, but we also do the reconstruction and remodeling. Saw the need of a couple of restoration companies out there that only do the cleanup side of things, and they were just referring out or not even doing anything with the reconstruction and remodeling. So I was like, you know what, let's try this out. And some of the contractors that I was working with at the time, uh, it was rough. So um, that's where the name came about as well. Accountable, just holding each other accountable and making sure the customer is taken care of.
This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions, they help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. What's up, everybody? This podcast is sponsored by Grimes Financial Advisors. You've spent time and energy building a successful business, but here's the question. Do you have a real retirement plan or just a pile of investments? Our friends at Grimes Financial Advisors specialize in helping business owners and families create a clear roadmap for retirement through their proprietary retirement blueprint. Instead of focusing only on investments, they look at the entire picture: income planning, taxes, long-term care, legacy planning, and making sure your money is actually working for the life you want to live. I've gotten to know Dustin personally. One of the things that I respect most about him is he believes every financial decision should fit into a bigger plan. You shouldn't just chase returns. So whether you're 5 years from retirement or simply want a second opinion on your financial strategy, I highly recommend reaching out to Dustin and his team. Visit Grimes Financial Advisors to schedule your consultation and start building your own retirement blueprint.
Okay, I actually love that. And it's interesting. I've been thinking about this a lot with marketing agencies. And I talk to a lot of contractors and they're like, yeah, my marketing agency is amazing. Or it's like, oh, they suck. But there's never an in between. And I feel like it's the same with contractors. Sometimes it's like, oh, he was amazing. And he like knocked my socks off and like something was, not right. And he came back and fixed it. Or it's like, yeah, they screwed me over and just left me with the bill and didn't do what they said they were going to do. But there's no like in between, there's no gray areas like, oh, they were just okay. It's always amazing, terrible, but nothing in between,
No, that's how it normally is, man. And that's why I wanted to just be in the industry for that reason. I just, it's one of those things you just gotta take ownership for. If you make a mistake, just own up to it and be like, hey, my bad. I'll fix it. Let me make it right. So
Well,
just taking accountability.
Where's the you don't have to share any private financial information or anything crazy, but where's the company at in terms of size and scale or overall sales?
Well, yeah, man, it's this year has been really good for us. We're doing very well. We're pretty much doubling from, we pretty much doubled from last year. And it's good, because it's, I'm trying to build this, kind of like an ecosystem where it kind of feeds itself.
Yeah.
With the focus of, just helping out as much as we can.
Yeah.
Financially wise,
so when you say ecosystem,
I know you wanted to see
ahead.
hear the financial side of things. We've been blessed with work.
Okay, that's fair enough. You're balling, but you don't want to share your numbers. I get that. So the ecosystem, you do restoration. What are the other services? The remodeling. What are the other things that you guys offer?
So there's a couple of things that, that's our bread and butter, right? Our bread and butter is going to be water, fire, mold. We also do the reconstruction and remodeling, both interior and exterior. Some of the things that we don't do is we don't really deal with like any foundations or roofs, which we partner a lot with people that do foundations and roofs because they do tend to leak, and we help them out with that. And one other thing that we don't do is we don't do asbestos in-house, but we do have a really good partnership with a local company here that takes care of any asbestos or meth or crime scene cleanups. I don't have an interest in doing that myself. So we stick to what we're good at. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
This podcast is sponsored by Action Coaching. If you're a home service business owner, ask yourself this: are you constantly chasing new leads or just keeping the business growing? Ben Jordan built a $100 million plumbing and HVAC company. Inside the Action Group, he teaches contractors how to create recurring revenue, strengthen leadership, improve sales, and build systems that reduce the owner's day-to-day involvement. Members get weekly coaching, practical templates, proven scripts, and strategies designed specifically for home service businesses. If you want to get out of the truck, build something that runs without you and creates real wealth, check out the Action Group on School and book your free consulting call.
What's going really well in your business right now, and what's a big challenge you guys are facing?
Yeah, so the challenge is always going to be, you know, finding the people that are able to trust the contractor, especially on the mitigation side. On the mitigation side, that that's a water, fire, mold. Is a lot of people think that everything is just due to the weather. That's not always the case. There's a lot of plumbing in the house. There's toilets are going to overflow, washing machines are going to overflow, dishwashers are going to leak, refrigerators are going to leak. So there's a lot of plumbing in a house that people don't realize that can leak. It's one of those things. If it's man-made, if it's got a gasket, it's going to leak eventually. So finding that, partnering up with the people that are able to refer us is critical, such as plumbers, insurance agents. Rates for insurance are they're rising. I don't know if you've seen it, but insurance rates are rising. So making sure that you have a professional going out and doing an assessment before filing a claim, it's going to benefit you. Not only does it benefit you, but it also benefits the agent. You know, so just because there's a leak or something happens in your house doesn't mean you file a claim. Have a professional go out there, give you an estimate. If it's worth filing a claim, then cool. If it's not, then don't. If you can pay out of pocket, try and pay out of pocket if you can.
Yeah. What's something that's going really well in your business right now, or that you're particularly proud of?
The network that we have, man. The network that we have, and the people that I was telling you before the show. You gotta pass the vibe check if you want to hang out. So we network a lot, and we try to get around town and try and support any local nonprofits. But just a network, man. The people that we hang out with on a weekly basis is it's just incredible to meet the people that we know.
Well, I'd love to add to the network. I have probably every freaking home service guy in Denver, because I've had them all on the podcast. So yeah, would love to keep that combo going. Let's talk about AI for a second. Where are you guys integrating AI into your business?
AI, it's a hot topic right now, and it's one of those things where we integrate it with the follow-ups. A lot of people don't really like to do follow-ups. I like follow-ups myself. I like to hop on a call and have a conversation with the client to see what where their head is at. But some of the team members are not a fan of it, so we implement AI to help with the follow-ups and also marketing. Helping out with any social media posts, any email marketing, or text message marketing, anything like that we can automate. We help with that, and also anytime there is a claim, you know that communication with the agent and the adjuster is critical. Making sure everybody's on the same page and everybody knows exactly where the claim is at. So that's where we've
Yeah.
implemented AI in our business.
If you have a solution, Mike, to automate pushing the insurance claim along, I think you'd be a millionaire. Is that what you're automating, or what element of the claim?
That's Yeah. So I've been working a on something that can help with that. Um, I've been working on that for a couple of months. It's one of those things where like every claim is different. So uh, not every adjuster is going to be the same. Not every claim is going to be the same. So trying to automate that is going to be very difficult. At the end of the day, I think AI is still early. That it's just being shoved down our throats that I think people are just getting tired of it and overwhelmed by it. They just want a human interaction. So I'm still trying to, keep that balance where, our office staff is having that human interaction with the client and the adjuster.
Yeah. Um, what is one thing that we haven't talked about that gets you fired up? It could be a business principle, it could be team leadership, culture, vision. Like, what's one thing we haven't talked about today that you get excited about?
Just mindset, man. Mindset and the vision. Everybody has a vision, everybody has a purpose. And my purpose might be different than your purpose, and your purpose might be different than mine, and whomever else is listening to this. And it's a mindset. To me, if you gotta have the right mindset in order to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. So that's what gets
Yeah.
me fired up. Yeah, that's one thing that fires me up. I can talk about that any day.
Well, put us on some game with mindset stuff. I mean, it is interesting to me. I have conversations with a lot of, home service guys, and I agree with you, although I would have my hard time putting my finger on what really goes into mindset. I think it comes from our relationship with Jesus, but some people just listen to a certain YouTube channel. Like, what do you think the key to a good
Well,
mindset is?
talk to me about, like, your religion background out, you know, like the whole Jesus and, like, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, so look, at the end of the day, like, I believe God was the first entrepreneur. He created something from nothing, right? Jesus was entrepreneurial and enterprising. He led a group of 12 strangers in the desert and started a movement, right? And so one of the things I know that I focus on with my mindset is that I'm a servant, especially when things are tough. Like, as a business owner, you kind of, sometimes I get to the end of these podcasts, I just want to give the guy a hug. I'm like, his best guy just left him, or his $1 million tech, or whatever. And at the end of the day, I believe that trials and tribulations will happen. It's not a question of if, it's when. And my faith in God allows me to believe that He will provide for me, right? He will give me the strength I need to get through a challenge. Life happens for me, not to me, right? So I know it's hard to break out of a victim mindset, like, oh, this guy left me, right? That sucks. And you kind of just start to spiral. I know it was like a few weeks ago, I think I had like 2 or 3 clients back out of deals, like back to back to back. And I was tempted to just go into this like cave where I'm like, man, this is terrible. I just want to sell this thing. Like, screw this. I'm out, you know? And just some time in prayer. I went for a walk. I left my phone at my desk. I spent some time in prayer. I looked up a verse and was able to just kind of reframe it. And I was back on my grind. But I don't know how I would do that without the Lord. Although I know
Okay.
some people do. I don't know how I would do that if it wasn't for a firm confidence that there's something bigger out there that kind of runs everything.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, I'm a believer myself, man. I grew up in the church. I'm a believer, and it's one of those things where, like, as a business owner, if you don't want to quit several times in a week, then you don't have enough. Your business is not scaling the way that it needs to be scaling, right? Dude, trust me. There's weeks that I'm like, you know what, screw this. Like, I'm gonna fire everybody. I'm gonna start all over. I had one of those weeks a couple weeks ago. But it's one of those things where, like, mindset comes into play. You know, and whatever you gotta do, like, you gotta have the right mindset, because whatever you're thinking about is what you're gonna get. I was
Yep.
talking to one of my buddies before my kids were born. It was like, what are you praying for? What are you asking for? I'm like, patience. He was like, oh, buddy, you don't want to pray for that. I'm like, well, why not? And he was like, because he's going to give you problems to teach you patience.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Wadley, and I'd love to pray for you before we hop off the call. Yeah, I think I initially stumbled into one of your organic posts here, and I thought they were really funny. The Yellowstone one, that's pretty funny right there. I like that. Well, y'all go check them out. Go give them a call. If you have any sort of damage in the Colorado area, it looks like you have a pretty broad service area. Mike, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.